For me, but I just get what I want.
So, we're bringing Cork Green onto the Tommy Talks podcast today, right? We already talked about it a little bit there, got a little bit rolled into it.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming, no?
Absolutely, man. You've been talking about it for a long time.
Yeah. Just load the bullet in, pull it in, then we shoot the trigger.
I didn't even believe you were fucking, excuse the language, I didn't even believe you were doing it.
You can talk, you can be you, man.
Yeah, like, I didn't fucking believe he was going to do it. You text me, you were like, we'll do a podcast. Like, yeah, you've been saying that for months, bro. I was like, you've been saying that for fucking months. And you were like, nah, it's booked, we're doing it. I was like, all right, let's go, let's do it. So thanks for having me, happy to be here.
Yeah, of course, you know what I mean? I do talk a lot of shit, but most of it's real.
We all
you know what I mean?
do,
Do you know? But yeah, so we'll get for people that don't know us.
Yeah.
Or you.
Yeah.
We met how long ago?
Jeez, man. Well, Go Gym days.
I'm 8 years in there.
Yeah, well, I'm about 7-8 years training there. So
Right.
I probably met you about 7
When I
years
started.
ago. Exactly.
Yeah. When I didn't know what I was doing when I got qualified.
In fairness, I wasn't even a PT back then. I just loved training.
Yeah.
Like, my old man was a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
And not that I wanted to get into bodybuilding, but I always loved just physical exercise and training. It was free drugs for me.
Yeah, okay.
Free crack.
Yeah, okay.
Free cocaine. You don't even have to rack the line. Just there. Just go in and lift weights. You feel good. Loved it.
Free dopamine kicks.
Free dopamine kicks.
Yeah. Without the fucking downfall.
Yeah, without the fucking money as well.
Yeah. And then, what brought you to Go Gym?
I think the facilities, bro. Like, I came from, actually, tell a lie, there was a gym in Wicklow called Uplift Gym. Do you know if you remember it, do you?
Oh, I don't know.
It was a kickboxing gym, but half of it was segregated. So half of it was the weights and half of it was the rings and
So
the
your
mats.
background was combat sports,
Yeah.
weights, bang, bang.
Exactly.
Yes.
And that gym closed down. Everyone will tell you, obviously, from Wicklow, if they're listening to this, right, Wicklow loved Uplift Gym because it was so simple. Wasn't dressed up, wasn't fancy. The equipment was basic.
It's what you wanted.
What you wanted, man. You could go in there and roll around the mats for 4, 5, 6 hours a day. That's what we used to do.
Right.
And that closed down. Fucker still owe me 6 months membership, actually. Fucking can't tell me money. But anyway, that closed down and I had to go somewhere. So Go Gym was the next place and it just had the best facilities and the vibe was good. And I liked the way the saunas were in the dressing room as well. It was a big touch. So I was like, yeah, fuck it, let's go.
Which explains why when you train, you always do a little bit of martial arts and then you always go heavy on the weights. You do a light warm up, do that.
Always.
What weight are you now?
106 kilo.
I've never seen a fella at 106 kilo doing fucking handstands, man, and fucking going around. I've been watching him on the cameras and I'm like, what's that fella doing?
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the walking on my hands thing, so there was I used to have a jiu-jitsu coach called Caesar. And
Caesar, he said he was hitting you with a stick.
Actually,
and said
you know
he was doing
what? Not
something
even
wrong.
being funny. He fled Brazil. Turns out the Brazilian mafia wanted him. They kneecapped him twice, and we ran to Ireland. True story. We didn't find all this out until after the gym now closed
Nice.
down.
That's why. And I wouldn't be asked him for 6 months membership back.
He actually fucking robbed the gym safe and all the phones and all that were in it, and then left. No one ever seen him again. And when I say the biggest waste of talent you'll ever get, biggest waste of talent, this fella was supernatural at jiu-jitsu. Multiple red strip black belt, and he used to walk around the gym on his hands. And he's like, you see, guys, you know, when you have the balance, the control, that's a terrible Brazilian accent, but you know what I mean? And for forever, that's all I wanted to do. And for years, I just practiced handstands, walking around, handstands. And then no matter how much muscle I put on,
You were able to do it.
I just kept the skill.
How?
Just balance. It's in your brain, man. I was just able to still walk around on my hands, even though I was 250 fucking pounds. You know what I mean?
That's mad.
Yeah.
And did you not feel anything like affect you?
Nothing.
No?
Nothing, man. I could do it right now in the studio, like, you know, it's mad. It's all in your head, you see. It's the balance. So it's like walking.
Yeah.
When you start walking on your feet, you're all over the place. Like, I have a kid coming in 6 weeks' time. He's, bless him, he won't be able to stand on his own 2 feet. That's the way adults are when trying to walk on their hands.
Congratulations again.
Yeah, thank you very much, baby
We
boy.
we like to dedicate this podcast to
Baby Robin.
baby
Robin
Robin,
Green.
the course young kid on the way.
Yeah.
And then as well, we'll also give a shout out to Franco.
Shout out to Franco. He was
Franco,
a good kid.
that used to work with us in Go Gym.
Yeah, he passed away recently.
Yeah, at the funeral today. So
Yeah, good kid.
yeah, just a bit, you know.
Shame, really, because not to get off topic, Ram, but
No, we
Franco
can-
was a genuine, like, light-hearted soul.
He was a buzzer as well,
Buzzer,
and
yeah.
he'd love to have a conversation.
You knew
and
when he was around. You know, he
Yeah.
didn't just fade into the background. He was a main character kind of kid.
yeah,
That's what was so kind of surprising about his death. Not obviously other things weren't surprising, but
yeah.
you know, just he's so young, man.
So young, and
Way
then
too young.
but that goes on to another topic with it's like that is surrounded by it that of the youth of today?
Look at it, man.
Like,
it's,
how many mates have you buried over the years?
good feel, man.
I say, if you look at the likes of prison, fucking funerals, suicide.
Yeah, I actually, do you know what? I lost a mate of mine last year. He was only 26, man, young lad. And I reckon it was from the vaccines.
Yeah.
He was in the army and took every vaccine. His ma had a triple bypass, loads of heart surgery. Now they say, this is just wise to hell horseshit. They say you get your ma's heart, which I'm very lucky because my dad died at 44. Man.
Right, yeah.
So I'm very lucky to get my ma's fucking heart. But
And your ma's a lovely woman, actually. I only found out who she was on the gym floor the other day. Right, I say about 3 weeks ago.
Great woman, man. She
Yeah,
was
that's
marathons
Court's
and
ma.
everything. Marathons and everything, bro.
I was like, yeah.
You wouldn't catch me running to the shop, bro. Honestly, God, fuck that. I do run, obviously, more lately. But she loves marathons. Great woman.
Okay.
But this fella, I think personally that, it was the vaccine that kind of got him. Because he didn't take drugs. Loved a few points like us all.
Yeah.
If we were all taking a bag, he wouldn't touch coke. Never touch drugs.
And that'd be something saying, when they first came out and it goes, oh, sure, you take a bit of coke, but you won't take the vaccine.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong.
Well, coke's been around how long?
Yeah, fucking Pablo Escobar didn't die of that, did he?
Same thing with steroids, right? They've been around since the 1920s. This vaccine was created in 3 months by the military industrial complex. So, I'm not taking something that's been sold for money.
No.
No.
But
for free, like imagine I coerce you as drink this bottle of water. You're like, what the fuck am I drinking that for?
But the thing is, though, when it was happening, it's like me asking you what your favourite colour is, and you go blue. No, it's red. You got to take it. It's red. And it goes, what?
No.
And it goes, but everyone's mindset changed that time.
And how quick people turn on each other.
And don't get me wrong, this podcast is not dedicated to being an anti-vaxxer, a tinfoil hat head, or anything like that. But the positive facts have come out.
But have the tinfoil hats been wrong? Yeah.
No.
Right? They've withdrew the fucking...
My tinfoil hat head is still being washed at home in the washing machine.
They've withdrew the fucking vaccine off the market.
If I went and done something right and committed to it, right, this is being real, and followed through the whole way, and someone said it was proven wrong, everyone is stubborn and not admitting fault. Now it's like, oh yeah, next thing.
I think people just go through life thinking they just don't have this. They just believe, none of a lot of this talk with the Matrix and stuff.
I was literally about to say that. Blue pill, red pill.
Yeah,
that's it.
I know the Matrix was out long before the tape readers.
The fourth one was shit.
But say the tape readers, for example, right?
Right.
Always talking about the Matrix, putting it into perspective out there for people to kind of understand, right? But I kind of had this vision of the world before it even came about.
All right.
So it's all just faked up. The government, the news, the media, the radio. When you turn on the radio in the morning, it's like you go into a time warp. It's like you never left 2005 or something.
Someone asked me, did you hear that on the radio?
It's the same shit it's the same shit designed to keep you in the same fucking stuck.
It's a candle burning in your head.
What do you mean?
It's like you don't want to listen to it because whatever is being pumped into your brain, you don't know if it's real, you don't know if it's
not
fake,
fucking real. That's
you
what
don't
I'm
know
saying.
what the agenda is.
It's like you've seen.
What I mean?
It's like I don't know. It's hard.
A little bit like this podcast.
It's hard to give an analogy on the fly, but I think it's just when you listen to something or watch something, but it's disingenuous, like it's bullshit.
It's like talking to someone they're lying straight to your face.
Yeah, like hold on. So the government, you just think the government is like full of just nice people who are out to do good for society. Like, I mean, you just think these multi-trillionaire companies like BlackRock and Vanguard aren't doing any bad. They're just nice people. Oh, we didn't mean to do that. What a mistake.
Man, money talks, no?
Money talks, man. And the government's the same. So the government-funded media is going to tell you whatever benefits the government. They're not going to fucking tell you the truth.
But then that goes into a belief system of being a leader then. Because you're the outcast that you don't go near any of this, right? And then everyone else is following it. Like that movie, what's it called? What's the movie called? With your man...
I got to hold the point in mind here because he said something that's true.
Oh, yeah? Ah, God. What's your man's name?
Fuck him anyway.
He used to be Batman.
I don't know.
He used to be Batman. Christian Bale was in the movie, right? And I can't remember the actual name of it. But they had to take a vaccine every 4 to 6 hours, right, to numb their emotions, right? And they were going around. Sean Bean's in it. He dies in that as well, just for anyone that wants to know.
Yeah.
He dies in everything, right? But it numbs your emotions, doesn't make you feel, and it was against the law not to take it.
Sure, that's fucking.
And what they're doing is they're going around burning all kind of arts and culture stuff like the Mona Lisa and all that. And that movie's like,
that's a very deep. I'm not saying like, sorry, on a point there you said that taking a role like that is a leadership role, but there's two sides to that coin. Like if you stand up and say, this is bullshit, you know, these are bad people, all that kind of stuff, you're gonna, same with COVID. The amount of, they collected like an army who were pointing the finger at the anti-vaxxers being like, you're the problem.
But then they were the ones spreading it.
But spreading it, even if it spread, it was only a fucking flu. I got it. Did you get it?
I got it. Yeah.
I was in bed for a day, cold sweats, on my birthday.
Oh,
that was
man.
it.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, well, that was funny. Fucking 8 months ago.
I was on the gym floor, right? Now, I'm not going to say I accept the consequence for what happened there.
Yeah.
I was on the gym floor. I'm like, feel a bit tired today. It was Christmas Eve, man. Yeah, I woke to Christmas Eve, right? I woke to Christmas Eve, yeah.
Nothing better to do, for fuck's sake.
I'm not online, you know?
Fucking hell.
But I was working Christmas Eve till a certain time. I got home about 2 o'clock. And I got home and I pulled into the garden, right? And I just said, I'm fucking tired. I put the heater on, I'm cold, and this and that. And I flew back, right? And my sister knocked on the door. Tommy, you all right? Goes, yeah, go upstairs, whatever. Had a shower. Didn't do any Christmas shopping, right? Said, I'm going to go down to Liffey Valley now, Christmas Eve. I had to shower 5 o'clock. I said, I'll wait an hour. I'll go to sleep. Went to sleep, right? To beat the traffic. There's obviously going to be fucking traffic on Christmas Eve anyway.
Yeah, why not go down and spread all
Woke up at 10:30. Woke up at 10:30 and my ma goes to me,
yeah,
you're looking very pink in the face. Like, no, you talking about? No, did you go shop? No. Take a test. It's like, no, what are you talking about? Take a test, go on. Oh, right, go on.
That was a nice way of saying you look like shit, Tom.
Yeah.
Take this fucking test.
I put the thing on it, right? And like I said, it was real, but whatever happened. As soon as the drop hit it was like fucking, duh, you're like, red, flash, gone. You're positive, right?
Yeah.
I think I ended up, goes, get up to your room now. Like something out of like fucking, like Mount Joy prison.
But that's because the fear mongering, you see. And your ma's what age? Someone me asked you.
My ma would be high risk. So my ma was going through a lot at the time. She was going through surgery.
She's from the era of the news, though, the radio. She'd believe it all.
Yeah.
Right. So
but
she even had Dr. Fauci coming out saying that the 6 feet distancing rule and the mask was based on no science. It was horseshit. It was a guesstimate. Maybe it's a good idea if that happened. But there was people fucking killing each other for not wearing a mask, and there was neighbours reporting you for having people over. It was fucking nuts. And do you know what?
And yet they're meant to be a one-way system in Tesco or whatever like that, and yet people were just kind of
one-way system. I was walking down Tesco.
They were walking towards you.
So they're all looking at me like I was some sort of fucking skilled shooter, man.
No
like
mask.
Not well, walking through the aisle. And I'm looking at them being like, you're all fucking retards. Like, you're actually dumb. Like obviously I wore a mask when I had to, right? Like they wouldn't let you in a place, for example. Well, you had people going around when they lifted all them, still wearing masks in their own car by themselves. And I'm like, I feel so bad for you. Like you're so controlled.
Yeah, just get your hand and holding it like this for
the woke mind virus, as Elon Musk put it. Like it's just, you know, you just don't have your own mind anymore. You're just a mirror of whatever the big man says, you know.
And do you think that had an effect on people's behaviour later on down the line?
Still has an effect to this day, really, you know.
Yeah.
I mean,
how long is it? 4 years?
Jeez, man, time flies. It's nearly 5 now.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And how long did it take you to recover when you got it? You said a day.
It was no. Cold sweats for a day.
Okay, here we go. Yes,
but
here we
go. Bad. Like, I mean, it was like 4 or 5 days, maybe even. I had like aches and stuff like that. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'll sit here and say the manner in which we handled COVID was bullshit. It was complete.
It was real. It was there. But the way it was handled.
They were forcing you to do this, that, and the other. It was bullshit. It was all a push for control, and it was a push for digital ID, if you ask me. And the same thing with this immigration shit. Oh, we don't know who's coming into the country. Well, you know, we would if we had a digital ID. But anyway, you'll see in 10 years. But I think it was all just a big social experiment. But I won't sit here and say that it was just like a cold, because it was a bad flu.
Oh, yeah.
And I never get sick. I'm a fit man. I eat well. Take some fucking drugs now and then. It fucking does. I'm not an angel. Yeah. But I was generally good immune system. And I was, it was pretty fucking bad. You know, I had cold sweats on my birthday. I was aches and pains everywhere. It took about a week for me to get over the fucking thing. So it wasn't like it was nothing. But
Right.
for me, it did hit me. But I didn't need a fucking vax. I only got it once.
Took me 6 months to recover after it.
Go away.
I swear to God, yeah.
Soft.
So yeah.
Did you buy your immune system in Tesco or
No,
something?
fucking Asda, you man.
You got his immune system 2 for 1.
First of all, right, when I tested positive, I got booted up to the room like a prisoner.
Yeah.
My dad goes to me, and you know yourself, you know what I mean, doing bodybuilding, man. How many meals do you have to have a day?
Yeah, fucking
5 or whatever.
every 2-3 hours.
Yeah,
If you want to get
easily,
big, like,
easily.
Yeah.
I got 2 meals, and I goes, I'm fucking starving. And I ring my dad. My dad goes, you'll get what everyone else is getting, 2 meals a day. And I said, do you know what? Bring up me oats, bring up me tub of protein powder, and bring up 5 litres of water. And I was like, what? Yeah. So I was eating that in the room. I got a PlayStation 5 actually when everyone couldn't get it though during COVID. Yeah. So I was playing Spider-Man, but only for an hour and I passed out.
Catch 22, worst immune system on earth, but I got PS5.
Yeah, do you know what?
You can't fucking complain.
But then after that,
just smoke weed around. When I just wanted like gelato. I was like, give me a bag of gelato, I'll sit back, I'll smoke up, watch some Marvel fucking movies.
I was on lockdown, man. I couldn't even get actually, do you know what I did? Actually, one of the lads dropped a package to me gaff.
Yeah.
My favourite crisps.
What's his name and address there? What's his name?
A little secret little thing, you know what I mean? And then it was grand.
Who's the drug dealer?
But I tell you what, it was just a hard time, I'd say.
Yeah.
But you know.
Yeah. For me, I think fucking weed went fucking mad back in COVID. You had like shit weed coming for mad money. We paid I don't smoke weed anymore, but I used to. We got like 2. My mate was like, oh, I can get 2 Cali packs, you know, like Cali weed from California, if anyone doesn't know, right?
The jellies or the...
No, the fucking just weed, like, but meant to be good weed. And he was like, I can get 2 packs for 150. And I was like, yeah, go on, I'll give you 80 quid, give him 80 quid, it comes back, right? 2 packs. And they're in 2 packets. And I was like, what are these meant to be? I opened it up. There's haze in that pack. I opened the other one. There was haze. Now, if anyone doesn't know what haze is, it's just a standard street weed. And I was like, you're after giving €150 for a quarter of fucking dirt, you absolute spastic. And he's like, did I? I was like, you're a retard. But that's what it was like in COVID.
That's just supply and demand.
You couldn't get fucking smoke. Something as stupid as weed you couldn't even get. But weed actually helped me a lot during COVID, it really did.
I do actually remember this fella gave me a number, right? And I was, actually, you know what? I haven't smoked it in ages. I'll give it a go. And I went down to collect your man. Your man was so suspicious looking, right?
Yeah.
And he walks up like this, comes over to the car, or I get out of the car, hands me the thing in an luminous orange tub and drops it on the floor.
So it's not conspicuous.
Yeah, I'm like, right, cool.
Yeah.
And then I think that was the last time I smoked. It turned out to be that stuff Stardog.
Stardog's lovely.
Oh, no, man, this thing fucking sent you miles.
Too strong.
No.
The weed today, I think it was Cat Williams had a skit on it. He was like, the weed today is not the weed it used to be. Like, it's way too fucking strong. I don't smoke it now. I smoke the CBD pen. Because I have too much shit to do. You know, I run a business, I train, fucking a kid on the way, I have a girlfriend.
Sometimes it's counterproductive.
Yes. And people think it's a chill, but sometimes...
No, if you're out doing it every night, that's stupid.
Yeah. And
you know,
we've all felt accustomed to this, right? If you've got nothing going on, right, smoking weed is the worst thing you can do.
You're just amplifying that.
Yeah, because you're going to have even less stuff going on.
Of course.
You're not going to leave the house. You're just going to sit in. You're going to smoke weed. Now, that's not weed's fault. There's also a lack of responsibility there.
In yourself.
Yeah. And I know myself, like, taking no accountability in your own action and blaming a substance. Oh, I'm smoking too much weed. No, but you're not doing fuck all.
Yeah, I want to get to this physique, but I'm going to eat shit. I'm going to not do that. And then it's going to be a
makes no
recurrent
sense.
process.
You want to be successful. You want to have a natural dopamine hit. You want all this stuff, but you don't do anything to help yourself.
No.
Sit inside all day, blame everything else by yourself, no accountability for your actions, and then you smoke weed as well. You're just going to be a loser. But
everybody has to have a voice of some point.
Yeah.
Do you get me? I think. Do you know what I mean?
An inner voice, like.
No, like a voice, something that's bad for you that works, right?
Yeah.
As in, like, you know, people for like watching and listening now, like, you know, thinking, oh, these lads talking about weed, and all goes, yeah, but people drink every day, and it's a toxin and it kills your brain cells.
Like, no joke, like, I take, like, sometimes I'll just, like, for no apparent reason, I'll just recreationally just start using cocaine, like.
Okay.
Just out of nowhere, you know? Like, I'll just sit at home and I'm like, yeah, it feels like I want to do some fucking coke right now.
Okay.
Right? It's a weird thing. I had a fucking problem with it years back. And I don't know why I just used it as that voice. Now, it was a very self-destructive path. It led me down to some really bad stuff. But even today, sometimes I get this, like, weird, I'm like, yeah, maybe I'll do some fucking coke, right? But the reason why I don't get trapped in that circle again is because I know where it goes. So I know I'm dancing with the devil, but there's just some things in human nature where you're like, yeah, everything's going to be perfect. Let me fuck it up a little bit.
Do you think
You know
that
what I
that's a
mean?
problem with people now? Do you think that that's being overused a lot more now in this generation
Coke?
than previously? Yes.
Oh yeah, 100%. Man, when I was a kid, it was just you got a few cans. You went into the fields, you got drunk. Right?
Flagging.
Yeah, you went to flagging.
Yeah. Like my immune system, man, I was a bit bad. You know what? You had the cider.
Yeah, you got your Tesco value immune system like Tom did, right? You got your Tesco value cider, right? And you got hammered. Now, I hadn't touched a single drug, not one, until my dad passed away when I was 18. Now, I didn't take drugs because he died.
Okay.
It's just with the presence of my dad not being there, my dad hated drugs, didn't like drugs.
You didn't have a character to stop that.
Well, not stop it. I just didn't. It was weird. Like I just ended up just experimenting with drugs. Now I only ever had a bad time once, which is what I told you about the coke thing. But kids today barely even drink, bro.
Yeah, and let me stop you there for everyone listening.
Yeah.
I think Court's being openly honest here on this
100%.
because I think I'm no angel either.
Yeah.
You know, you're no angel.
Nobody's
and everyone listening to this is no angel because I guarantee you at some point in your life you went down the road that you thought was good and ended up to be bad anyway. And if you haven't pulled yourself back from that long road of darkness, I think there's a lesson to be learned there in that part.
A huge lesson. But I'm a fucking pro in digging myself out of holes.
Yeah.
A professional in it.
Yeah.
I could do, I've been down holes before, bad times in my life, drugs I was using as a clutch. The drug use got out of control, turned into something else, right? But now...
But then again, I was actually using green as a crutch during COVID.
So was I.
But
there's nothing going on anyway.
No, what did I do?
But for me,
it was the longest 3 hours. It was the longest 3 hours of fucking my life.
But the problem is when you're sitting there, for example, with the coke, like I was saying now, sometimes I just want to do a little bit of coke, right? But I'll just leave it at that. Whereas before, I could never leave it at that. Days at a time, it turned into weeks, turned into months, you're not doing nothing. You're just sitting in your room, just fucking, eventually you're not even wanking anymore. You're just sitting there taking shit just to take shit. That's when you have a problem.
And that's a lot.
That's when you have a problem. You have a serious problem when you're doing that. And for me, training's always what saved me.
It's an outlet.
Yeah, well, training saved me every time.
Yeah.
Every time. There wasn't a point in my life, something bad happens, drug addiction.
How long does it take you to get back to yourself after going through that dark hole? 2 weeks?
I have to hit rock bottom, man.
To look back up.
Man, I remember I took, this was fucking 6-7 years ago now, 8 years ago maybe. And I was taking loads of shit. My life wasn't really great, but we can all use excuses. But I was taking loads of shit. And I thought I was having a heart attack. I was having a panic attack. But fucking ambulance. Back in the ambulance came, sitting there, all these fucking monitors on me. They're telling me, your heart's okay.
What the fuck? What PlayStation game is this?
Your heart's okay. Went into the hospital, didn't believe them, done all the checks, it's fine. And from that day forward, right, if I had a cigarette, a coffee, caffeine, I'd have a panic attack. Thought I was dying, walking around with my hand on my pulse like this.
Paranoid.
For years.
Was checking pulse.
And I was like, this is what it's done to me. All those, fucking around for a year or two, this is the result of it. I was non-stop panic attacks, all that kind of stuff.
Right.
And I couldn't even have a coffee, bro. And for me, that's when I started going back to the gym. I was fat, overweight, and I said to myself, I was like, right, if I'm going to die, I'll die training. Because I know if I'm in the gym, my heart rate up, that if I do die, that I'll just die.
Okay.
That I will die. But if I don't die, then I know if I get a panic attack at home, then I'm fine. I know it's a weird logic, but for me, that's what worked for me. It was like, right, if I didn't die at the gym, I won't die at home.
You should try and do something positive.
Before you know it, look, I'm fucking drinking Red Bulls. I've had another one already. I had a couple of cigarettes today. Maybe later on I'll fucking go on a party. Who the fuck knows? But the thing is, from someone that couldn't even smell a fag without going for a panic attack and hold my pulse, there's someone who can now drink caffeine, live normally. But that took years. And that's why I'll never get down that hole again, because I know what's behind that door. And I'm not saying to anyone, you should never take drugs, because they're extremely addictive and you never know how far down the slope you've gone till you hit the bottom.
Yeah, but you don't know what's in them.
Well, you don't know what's in them, but there is a way around that as well.
Testing kids.
Just don't mess with the drugs. The weed, I'm not saying, the weed we're talking about accountability. Don't be a lazy cunt.
Well, if you drank a pint every day or a whiskey every day, that'd be considered an issue.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
But
it wouldn't be considered
to
an
society,
issue.
no, it's normal.
Yeah, because you can have 5 points after work, go back to work 9 to 5. That's it, rinse and repeat.
Yeah.
But If you look at the likes of America now, it's legal. You look at the likes of Amsterdam, it's legal.
Weed?
You look at the likes of Canada, it's legal.
It's not as harmful.
You know what I mean? Like
the media try and make it out.
Yeah,
it isn't. Right? It's not harmful. Like I know weed products is very healthy. It's just when we talked about being irresponsible.
Yes.
When you're sitting down doing fucking nothing with your life, and you're smoking weed, you're just gonna be doing even less with your life, except this time stoned. You know what I mean?
And what do you think about the presence on social media in regards to that? People don't talk about it as much. You think it's like they put on a
fake too much, man. You know, it's trying to be fake.
Yeah. You think they put on a show, like like
with weed?
No, with everything. Like say, eat this, be like me, do this, and I guarantee you half those lads aren't even doing that.
Well, I'll put it this way, for example, even me, right, on my page. So I'll put up like, I had steak. What did I put up last night? I had steak.
Yeah.
My missus.
You always put venison on it usually.
Shout out, venison, right? But shout out to the missus, bro.
She cooked a nice meal.
I mean, she cooks all the time, mate. I never leave the house hungry. Now, I provide. We're really traditional, and it works, mate. We're so happy. I provide, I pay the bills, I bring everything forward. She nurtures, she cooks the meals. She lives a expense-free life as such, and we're both super happy.
Within reason in this society.
And I think, but just to get on to the point you asked me, like when I posted that last night about food, I'll post the food I'm eating, but I'm not going to show them the fucking bottle of fucking like Trembolone I'm fucking injecting. Or do you get me? I'm not going to show them the 3IU fucking growth hormone I did before that food, and that's the fakeness in social media. Because the gear doesn't matter as much,
right?
But it does fucking matter. And people want to lie and they want to fake it. No, it's all natural. I hate fake.
And let's go on that one then. When is you think, would you agree with steroids or disagree with steroids?
I think it really depends, man.
Yeah. On your point of journey that you're at.
Yeah, I mean, like trend is never usually needed, right? Let's be honest about it. Like if you're a competition, even bodybuilders, like I know my mate, Matty doesn't even know, Matty Gilbert.
Yeah, Matty
doesn't even use trend. He just used Masteron. Now he's a cunt. He's got a great hairline, the wanker. I don't have a great hairline. So he can take Masteron and Primo, which are generally safe drugs, right? Whereas I can't take that because my fucking hair falls out, right? But I don't get mad side effects on Tren. But he can't sleep on Tren, but I can. So, but Tren's obviously way more detrimental to your health. So I think it all depends on what your goals are. I don't take Tren anymore. I've got a kid on the way.
Let's go to the fact of, like, say, someone that be listening to this, which is probably going to be in the gym environment, right?
Yeah.
Starting off.
Yeah.
Right? So what would your advice be? I'm natty.
Yeah.
Court.
I've spent...
Court is natty. Was natty.
Well, I was natty. And when I turned 27, I started taking juice. I'm nearly 30 now. Right?
Yeah,
so
okay.
I spent 10, 15 years training as a natural.
Yeah.
Right? And I got to a fantastic physique. I was 86 kilos. I was
shredded.
Yeah, if there was a pic up there, I'd show you. Like I was in fantastic shape, but I trained my balls off and everything was to a T. Couldn't miss nothing.
Yeah.
And I think young lads today, I was 26, 27 in that pick, and it took nearly 15 years to build that physique. But young lads today,
they want to skip the beat.
They want to skip it all, yeah? But not realizing that the better natural foundation you have will be the better results when you do go enhanced.
You build your house with bricks, man, and paint it up, it's going to be 10 times better than building it just with wood. Yeah.
And if you even, let's say steroids are the finishing product, but if the foundation of the house is shit, then
where do you go from there?
You're just polishing shit. So if you're taking gear, but you haven't built a natural base, then you're just going to be, you're just going to look a little bit puffier, a little bit more glycogen in your muscles. You're not actually going to look like a freak like everyone thinks, you know what I mean?
And what do you think about that? People going on about being natural. And
I fucking hate fake natties. I think they're fucking scum. I fucking hate them. They're like a plague, bro. They're fucking, because they automatically, when people fake being on steroids, they think, oh, this discredits all my hard work, right? But you're trying to impress the wrong fucking audience. Because the right people know how much work it takes, even with gear, to get that kind of physique. Now, if you're 75 kilo with a few veins, that's not impressive to me. If you're 100 kilos and you're lean and you're like, okay, this motherfucker knows what he's doing. Because anyone can take some tren and, get a bit veinier, lose a bit of body fat, whatever.
It's only an appearance.
It's people
for a
who
short
are like,
period.
Yeah, like people who are like, for he who will not be mentioned, I know people that are fake natties. And if they say they're natural, now I'm not a fucking idiot, right? I've studied endocrinology. I went to UCD Sport and Fitness. I'm a qualified PT. I've done all the fucking shit, bells and whistles.
Yeah,
I know,
stripes.
my dad was a bodybuilder, right? I know fucking gear when I see it. And I'm looking at someone, I'm like, he's not natural. And he claims natural. But he's only saying that because he wants to look like he's extra good. Like his genetics are extra. I'm different. I'm built different.
Yeah, I'm built different.
You're a spa. I fucking hate that.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. Do you know what I mean? It's a clown world of stuff. Like,
clown world.
Because then you're walking in and you know yourself then. And the likes of PTs, I think like myself, when I first started, I was like, I'll train hard. And the train is slow.
Yeah, it's very
The
slow.
train is fucking slow.
As a natural off, oh my God,
fucking hell,
so
man.
slow.
It's so slow. And then one day you build through there and you're like, okay, I finally look decent, but you're never, ever, ever happy with the end product.
You're never satisfied.
Even if you're on gear or natty.
Well, the gear thing is like testosterone, in my opinion. I don't think testosterone gets a fair enough rep, you know? Like testosterone to me is not, it might be an anabolic steroid, right? But it's endogenous.
But it's control, man. You don't want to feel, why would a man want to feel happy going to men's mental health here? If you took something that could bring you back to your childhood of like how good and you felt naturally.
Testosterone, in my opinion, is a very healthy hormone.
Yes.
Right? And if someone was taking testosterone, they're not technically natural, but they're not unnatural either. Right? Like if you're taking 200, 300, 400 milligrams of test, it's probably cycle territory, but it's just testosterone.
But it's the way it's gone, because if you go to a doctor now, the natural levels they give you.
Test is good for you, bro.
But the natural levels that they want you to be at aren't the optimal range that you should be.
Yeah, so nanograms per deciliter is what it's measured in, right?
Yes.
So my mate, I have a client of mine, he went and got tested. He reckons he had a low test. No, I knew he had low test.
Okay.
He went and got tested. He went out to this clinic in Sandyford or something it was. Like it's a proper TRT clinic.
Got his blood done, got the
whole lot
shit.
done.
Yeah,
they said he had the test levels of a 70-year-old man.
Fuck off.
He was only 32 years of age.
And what was he doing? Was he blasting?
He was blasting before. Now, what was his first mistake? Not consulting me, right? Because I give very good hormone advice to people who are my clients and not clients. I'd be like, that's too much. Don't take this. You don't need that. Take this. Like, I can give good cycle advice. But he listened to another fella. And I was like, look at me and look at him. Are you going to take his fucking advice? What the fuck is wrong with you? But anyway, he took his advice and he ended up getting like loads of blow, especially up around his face. Like moon face, it's called.
Water retention.
Yeah, a lot of water retention, but it never left. When he came off the gear, it never left. It looked like someone had pumped his face up. It was very bad. And it never went away. And then he went to the doctor. He had chronically high blood pressure. And they put him on all these like pills and stuff like that. And I was like, you could have just done the cycle right.
So there you go. Someone that jumps on thinking they know what they can do, and then it's just fucking.
Unfortunately, bad advice as well, right? Because he doesn't know what to do. So he's relying on this guy to give him the right kind of cycle advice, but it was completely fucking wrong. Like, but anyway,
like a copy and paste kind of shit.
Well, he had the test levels of a 70-year-old man, so they put him on TRT, and I got him some GH. The pharmaceutical grade fucking GH, right? So he's on a little bit of growth hormone, which is very good for collagen in the skin. Like when you look younger on growth hormone, you feel better, your skin's better. It's a very, very good hormone. It's just
some celebrities are on it too.
They're all on it, man. So I'm a big peptide man, you know me. And there's a peptide called epitalon, right? What it does is epitalon stimulates, now, fact check me if you want to, right? But what it does is stimulates telomerase, which is like an enzyme.
All right.
That keeps the end of your DNA strand. You have telomeres. And if you imagine the telomere like a barcode, that every time the cell needs to reproduce, it scans this barcode, right? That's how aging comes. This barcode gets harder and harder to read. The cell reproduces a little bit, worse and worse and worse over time.
Tightened.
This telomerase stuff, it helps.
Cleans it.
Well, it not only cleans it, but it strengthens it so that the barcode can keep regenerating healthy. And that's what all Kim K's on. I looked into it. Like all the researchers, all the big clinics, like Beverly Hills Clinic, all these youth clinics are all selling these peptides to rich people for thousands. And I can get epitalon for
mark it up by fucking.
Well, I can get it for €25 for a 10 milligram bottle, right? So it's just that all these peptides, they're not known.
And people who don't have the knowledge will pay mad money for something that they want to achieve.
But you don't need steroids today. Generally, today, you can get away with peptides. You want more tests, take enclomiphene. You want more growth hormone, take growth hormone releasing peptides. You want to look younger, take epitalon, take fucking CJH something. There's loads of fucking shit you can take.
And I always said to call himself Professor Green on his Instagram. He's like, I can't take it there. Do you know what I mean? You thought that this podcast was just going to be about drugs and stuff like that. He's educating people here on this stuff, you know?
It's not even like I'm trying to educate. I'm just saying what I know. And it's open to Like,
Yeah, like I said, it's an opinion, but you also have some factuals behind it. Do you know what I mean?
It's not perfect science as well.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
It is science.
Not everybody reacts the same way.
And the reason why I say it's not a perfect science, it's a science, but they're technically research chemicals, quote unquote.
Because then if anything happens, they're not being held accountable for it.
And they don't have the research, like
not,
long term.
It's not there long enough to be able to get it.
So although I say epitalon might release telomerase from the pituitary, it doesn't mean over time it actually increases lifespan. Even though the guy who invented it takes 3 shots a day and he's like nearly 80. So you can look him up. Actually, I forget what his fucking name is. But so these people who invent them are taking them.
Okay.
So would you take your own poison if it was poison? You know, would you?
Yeah.
He's taking his own medicine. He's taking it for a reason.
If you believe it enough.
Yeah. Well, if you believe in it, you'll take it.
Yeah.
You know. So when I'm older, I don't do exotic steroids anymore. Don't do trends. Don't do anadrols. Anything strong. Don't do it anymore. Maybe like right now, I started a cycle test, and 10 milligrams of D-ball. Light shit.
Okay.
I go to get my blood work checked. My blood work will be fine, but I'm not into taking. And then when I'm in my late 30s, maybe heading towards late 30s, I won't do any gear. I'll just move straight over to peptides only. Enclomiphene for my test, GHRP for my growth.
Have you any regrets from it?
No. Not a single one. There was a time where I took a trend cycle a bit hard and there was fucking blood in my poo. Like,
oh, really?
that wasn't good. Now I was able to distinguish, like, it might have just been stress because your sleep is so weird.
Okay.
For me, I felt like I slept okay. Other people, I can't sleep at all. But I was getting maybe 4 or 5 hours a night. I remember I said to you earlier that, like, this morning when I woke up, I had some blows of a HHC pen.
Oh, yeah.
I woke up and I was like,
which is legal, by the way.
Yeah, it's legal.
Legal.
It's not illegal. It's like it's hydrocannabinol instead of tetrahydrocannabinol, right? So it's legal, but it's you skip high and you go straight to stoned. And I woke up at 10:30, 11:15. I was like, oh, fuck, groggy. I got up, got a shower, got dressed, ran up the brae, stuck in traffic, met you. And it was late. But you see, if I was on trend, I would have just woke up at like 7:30.
You would have jumped from the house.
I would have jumped out the window at 7:30, ready to rock. Like, you know, it's a
50 feet in the air, landed on Bray.
I say it to people, it's like taking coke without having to sniff it, right? So you're either going to feel one or two ways. You're going to feel really good, energetic, ready to go. Dopaminergic system is fucking hopping. You're ready to attack the world, right? Or you're going to be super paranoid, super aggressive, super nervous. Like, I know lads, I have a client of mine, not a client anymore, but I know a fella that showed up to his ex's door with a chainsaw.
Oh, jeez.
And I had to say to him, I was like, listen, you know, you can blame Tran, but that's you, brother. Because
it amplifies the inner person.
Exactly. So it exacerbates already existing personality traits. I'm not an aggressive person, although I've done martial arts my entire life.
Take this red pill and you be your true identity. And then you're like, you find out who you are.
I was never the aggro type, so I never had roid rage ever, not even once.
Yeah,
no. I might shout, but scream.
No,
never smash.
Probably one of the nicest fellas in the gym.
Never smash.
Honestly, even what was it yesterday?
Bro.
Yeah, no, because when we first started, I was like, "Court, Grant, nice to meet you."
Yeah.
Always went out your way.
Yeah.
Never once you'd be like, you know,
never rode roid rage.
No,
I don't understand.
Not even that, man. Just in general. As a person, like,
thank you very much.
You know, and you come over and this fella's huge to the side of the gym, like in the gym, and he comes over, he's like, yeah, Grant, that's good lift, yeah, good weight, walks off, then has a conversation. None of the problem, like, you know, you're not like, say, how do you say, you don't get a tripod out in the middle of the floor, right?
No.
And start posing on the gym floor. And
no. I'd be embarrassed to fucking do that. Like,
no, you just go in, you lift heavy weight, bang, say it out, that's it, do your 100%. Thing. Do you think that gym etiquette is gone out the window?
I don't think enough people get smacked in the face, man, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Because as a kid, like, obviously I very good dad, like, discipline me. Do nothing wrong, you gotta get a fucking belt for it, right? But in a martial arts gym, you're gonna get your ass whooped every day of the week. Now, you know from boxing already, you get your ass whooped every day.
The first fight was from a fella only out of Mountjoy prison that got smashed around. So got some right hook.
Always somebody better than you. And you're getting your tap, especially jiu-jitsu, because you might get hit in the face, but you won't die from that. But if someone has your neck in a choke, like, he could kill you right there and then. That could be your last breath on earth.
And then your ego could kill you on that one if you don't want to give up.
So you have to surrender your ego and tap. And that's where I think martial arts people like myself, who've dealt with that ego death 1,000 billion times. I walk into a gym, right? I'm nice to people because I don't have to prove anything.
Yeah,
I have to prove that shit. If someone starts on me look, I'll tell them.
This is gonna end up one way.
Well, it's gonna be a bad day in the office for you, son.
Yeah.
So just apologise and walk on. I don't need to prove jack shit.
Yeah.
Whereas I know the weakest people in the gym, maybe someone we talked about earlier, feel like they need to prove something in the gym.
Oh, stop. Yeah.
So they walk in like they have this fake beef on them, but only because they don't have any other way to.
Because they want to end up famous or something.
Well, they've never checked their ego before.
Yeah, no one has told them no.
Never checked your ego, man.
No one's told
and
them
like
no.
that fella you said earlier, I didn't forget. You come into the gym, you sparred him, hit him a good smack, he never came back. Those people are the people that walk around the world with a problem.
Yeah.
Because they feel like they have to prove themselves. And once they got a little ego check, they didn't want that to be proven to them again.
And that was probably the first time, like, yeah, I can throw a few hands, like, do you know what I mean? And like you know, he said there, if someone says that to you, and you know you can fight, you're just kind of laughing until they do, and you're like, this is not going to be a good day, or I might fucking do some damage, which is not what you want to do.
I've 2 settings, like with me.
Because as a fighter, you have to have mutual respect.
Absolutely.
You have to be grounded. You also have to know your environment. And if it ever does go to it, you're a trained weapon in the court of law.
Well, I'd say to people, like, if someone was acting a cunt, you know, I have 2 modes. I'm like, yeah, whatever.
Laugh it off.
But no. But then there's no middle ground as well. I'm like, listen, you are making a big mistake, right? Cop on to yourself quick. If they don't cop on, sure, bang, that's it. I'll just spark them out.
Yellow card.
Most of the time, people know by it. They're like, all right, leave him alone.
Yeah.
You know? But don't be a fool.
Yeah.
Just because you know how to fight doesn't mean you should be a fool for anybody. You know, if someone's taking the piss or they're being loud, like, here, you know, calm the fuck down. You know, relax yourself. I'm not starting on you. I'm not trying to be nobody, right? But you are fucking spilling drink over here. You're stepping up in Matt's fucking shoes. Relax. Right? Don't be a fucking fool.
That's a nice way to do
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
simple as. You don't have to be like, oh, fucking kill you, right? Because you know you have that if you need it. Right? If you need to pull that weapon, it's there for you.
Use superpower at the end.
At the end of the day, you have the weapon. So you don't need to act like you have it.
It's like
just
being,
turn around and say, look,
like
don't
being
stop
King
acting the
Kong
fool.
and showing your chest off first. You just got to...
Just check people. Some people just like, look, calm the fuck down. You're knocking into me, you're being loud, you're being a cunt. Then if they start, then they're inviting it. Sure, then just fucking knock them out.
Do you think it's funny though? Do you ever see... I actually hear... Funny, I never see you do it, right? But it's so funny coming from a fella that's a fighter, right?
Yeah.
You know when you're lifting weights and you ever see that guy that's doing the L shuffle there, going around... shadow boxing and he's not even doing it right. He's just going around. What do you think of that?
I mean, I sometimes am guilty of doing
but you do it in the studio, but not like, you know...
Well, on the gym floor, I wouldn't like just fucking flat out just start shadow boxing on the gym floor. But in between sets... I'm not gonna lie, like, because I'm just being straight up with you. Like, sometimes your ego, you are feeling yourself. The tunes are playing. You know, you're mid-cycle, you're looking good, you're feeling good.
Right hook,
it's just a natural thing for an MMA fighter or boxer, maybe just to.
Yeah, but I know, like, doing something like that, maybe loosen the shoulder up from a punch is different than, like, you know, I know this fella that comes in, man, doesn't box, claims to be rugby, right? And then there's a big AstroTurf, right? But there's a boxing bag and a full studio in there with bags and all that. But he's in doing shadow boxing in the middle of the gym and all this, in front of, like, you know, where the functional zone
could be. A secret fighter.
And he's bringing his gloves around, lifting weights and all. I'm like, I'm not hating on it, man. But I mean, like,
look, the dude just wants to be fucking recognised as somebody dangerous when he's not, and that's okay. That's okay. But if you really want to find out how dangerous you are, you wouldn't be shadowboxing in that gym. You'd walk into a martial arts gym and shadowboxing there. You know, like I walked into a gym in Portugal, never met nobody, and I bowed down, showed respect, wasn't trying to be nobody. But
phone was off.
Well, on the mats,
couple of videos every now and again.
Like,
nothing mad.
I'm respectful and I'm nice, but on the mats I'm wrecking people.
Yeah,
I'm not like, you know, I'm nice, but I'm also a killer. So I don't care. Your blue belt bump gone, purple belt destroyed down.
And you were saying that you don't even have a belt in it, and you were taking on your man.
Yeah. So to clarify,
was that Thailand or Portugal?
I've been training in Portugal, right? But in Thailand, I've been training jiu-jitsu nearly my whole life, but only MMA jiu-jitsu. So I never got graded with the gi, right? But I could walk in just because of my size and I'm strong.
We all like getting graded with the gi.
I could roll, the right kind of gi. But I could walk into a gym and roll spar purple belts easily.
Right, okay.
Right? The brown belts.
It's like being self-taught rather than
the brown
corporate.
and black gets a bit tricky. So if you're a purple belt, you're a dangerous guy. You're equally as dangerous as a black belt. The only difference is a black belt's put the time in. Right, so I mean that's a very famous saying that's gone around.
Earn the stripes, showed up every day.
The stripes.
Yeah.
So the purple belt's still got the skill, but he doesn't have the experience to use it yet.
Okay.
Right, so if I roll with a purple belt, if I'm 40 pounds heavier, I'll probably win that exchange. Right, because I'm not saying I'm a purple belt.
But due to weight or due to
well, after strong of the weight, exactly. Right, so but when I went against, so after a couple of rolling times, although I was very respectful and stuff, because I was fucking running through these lads. The coach, Wesley, was like, right, you're rolling with me. And I was already fucked. And he fucking destroyed me. He got me in the same sub 6 times. I could see it coming. Still couldn't get out of it. Every time I'd go to pass guard him in half guard, he locks up my back leg. He does something to my arm, traps me. And we're stuck there in like a strength for strength situation. Now, he's on me. He was on juice like me as well.
Okay.
So 100 kilo juice versus 100 kilo juice, but one's a black belt, one's not.
So the ultimate.
Get me head and arm choke. Flip from half guard. Oh, he'd end up on top. And you'd have the head and arm choke in 15 seconds. Every single fucking time. Could not get away from it. And I don't know what it was. I asked him, but sure, he doesn't speak English. So I'm there with the Google Translate, trying to talk to him. I still talk to him on WhatsApp the odd time, but
I do think that's
fucking destroyed me.
I do think that's a good way of you to setting yourself into. We're talking about the ego about boxing on the gym floor. I do think throwing yourself into another country and not understanding the language. Yeah. Because I was the same thing. I actually did do MMA for a while in Knuckleheads in Madeira.
Right.
For about 8 months. And like you said, man, I think I went up to the bag and I think I was that kid to check my ego because I went up to one of the bags, man, and I went to kick it. Fuck me, man. The thing was like a rock, didn't even move, and I nearly broke my shin. I was like, bang. And then after that, it was like, did you get me? That was the point in my life where I turned around and started doing it again.
Well, the ego thing's funny because like I said, you walk into a gym and you're respectful and you bow, but you still have your skills. And just because having no ego doesn't mean you're not going to express your skills. So I was going in, rolling with these lads, and I was, I was doing what I was doing, they were doing what they were doing. But even when I got my ass whooped, even when I got my ass handed to me 5-6 times the same submission, I still bowed. Thank you very much. Thank you for whooping my ass. Thank you very much. Ego, there's
you should be grateful for that because
you
got beaten. And if you don't have that drive.
And don't celebrate if you beat someone. Do you know why? Because you're better than them. You don't celebrate wins that you're supposed to win. That's stupid. Like if you get someone and they're less experienced than you, like these people might have blue or purple belts, right? But they're probably doing it 7 years. Whereas I put on a pair of gloves when I was fucking 4 years of age. So I have 25 years in this fucking thing. So
but someone that
I ain't celebrating that. I'm not celebrating that, and equally, I'm not feeling bad if I get my ass whooped by someone better. So don't celebrate and don't be upset. Just accept it for what it is.
But someone who's in the art for years doesn't have to be like a corporate version. I'm just getting graded the whole time. It doesn't make that.
MMA, you see, there's no grades for MMA.
No, but this is what I'm saying is though, someone could go through their whole career and be a black belt, right, and then think they're the best thing since, like, for example, I won't state a name on this, right? Taekwondo.
Takes my dough.
Right. Now, Taekwondo, right? Olympian fella. Yeah. Not this last one. Not this one, the last one. I used to go out with this girl who went out. Her sister went out with the brother, and his brother was now on the Olympics a few years back.
Yeah.
And he was going around Dublin talking smack, I'd say. And then he got absolutely...
Taekwondo?
Yeah, he got smashed up.
It's not a great base for...
No, but he put up a video of him with all his teeth and all and everything, like bleeding and all that.
Yeah,
and everyone...
bless him.
But everyone caused sympathy for it. But he was the one going on, drinking in town.
I mean, look, if you're asking for...
But he's only young.
Yeah, if you're asking for it and you get it, don't complain.
Yeah, right? Is that the real story though, people saying?
If you're asking for it and you get it, don't complain. But what I will say is Taekwondo, like any singular martial arts, is probably not a great base for MMA. The footwork is good. Yeah,
but a fucking helicopter kick isn't going to go use in real life.
Well, if you might land it against a nobody.
Yeah.
But you won't land it against like a fucking Muay Thai fighter.
Oh,
like I went to Thailand, and it was the first time I'd been to Thailand, and I've done kickboxing before, but I never strictly trained Muay Thai the way the Thais do.
The guards are different.
Yeah, bro, I was training with fucking Kelvin Gastelum, right? I was training with some serious fucking, he's obviously a UFC fighter, but he was over there trying to sharpen his Muay Thai as well, right? Like Michael Chavez, you ever heard of Michael Chavez?
Yeah.
He's an absolute monster of Muay Thai. He's not even Thai. They're calling him the best non-Thai fighter in Thailand right now.
Okay.
He's a machine. He's 75 kilos, right? 30 kilos lighter than me. And I'm telling you, the clinch in this fella feels like...
These lads hit like bricks.
To clinch this fella like a G-clamp on your neck. I actually went home that night, and my neck, I couldn't even move it. It was that stiff. Like, these lads are built different, man. They are built different. So you go and fight. There's no belts in Muay Thai either, right? So... you get a guy who's a pro Muay Thai fighter and you put him against a black belt in Taekwondo, I know who I'm putting my fucking money on.
Yeah.
And that's a fact. I'm not disrespecting the martial arts of Taekwondo, but My dad used to call it "take my dough."
My dad, my dad brought me into Shotokan from a young age.
Karate is actually not like competitive karate. You ever watch competitive karate?
Yeah, no. Shotokan would be like the street fight version of the karate.
I love karate.
Of the karate.
Yeah.
I won the All-Ireland twice.
Did you? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably where you get your good footwork from.
Maybe, I don't know. But I also was in there, and I remember I moved to school one time, right? And I think I was in Palmerstown for 10 years.
Right.
Moved to Kildare for a year, right? Moved back after that. Moved back to my nanny's, then moved back to the old school I was in. In fifth class, I won it.
Right.
Sixth class, I won it. But when I won it in fifth class, right, the principal, I was in the paper. The principal puts my fucking picture on the notice board. Every pikey wanted to fight me that day. I was like, oh my fuck. And then there was a guy going around.
Hate that.
And it's like he was going around choking people.
Yeah.
He was going around choking people, right? And I'm sitting there like this, right? He puts his hand. My dad always said to me, "You listen to your dad. Anyone puts their hands on you, boom, yeah." He went to put his hands on me, man. I fucked him over the table. And what did the teacher do? You can go early, Tom.
Go away.
I'm like, what?
Now you got people after you.
Yeah. I'm like, out of here. Good luck. See you later.
I had a hump.
And you know what? Never even. I seen him there in front of me. He was looking for me. He goes, I could have had to scrap if I wanted to. I was like, yeah, see ya. Gone.
One time I got my fucking ass whooped in school, right? I was talking shit about now, in fairness, I was talking shit about him, right? The dude who was gone into 6th year, I was only in 3rd year.
Nice.
So these are all fucking 17 and 18-year-olds. Well, I was only 13 or 14, but I'd done martial arts, so I thought I was the big man.
But we're all mouthpieces at that age.
And look at me, handicapped, right? So I thought I was the fucking big man because I was doing martial arts and I was talking shit about this fella. And he came up to me on lunchtime. I was crossing the road in Bray. You know, right where Dunstores there. I was walking across the road to the gem shop. And next thing I see, him and all his mates walk up, like, fucking 15 of them. And all the boys were fast around over there on his side, older lads. And I remember walking up and fucking, I had 2 mates with me and they fucking left. So they left me standing there on my own. And he came up to me and he was saying, now you hit me a bang left, hit me a headbutt and hit me a left in the mouth. And I knocked my tooth down a little bit. Oh. I remember I just smiled and I spat blood and I didn't hit him back. Right. Now maybe looking back, maybe I should have. But I always...
You're younger.
But I never forget that as a teaching moment. Shut your fucking mouth, like. What are you mounting about people for? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I shouldn't have been fucking mounting about people. He never said on about me. He never was talking shit about me. So I was trying to talk shit about him because I was trying to be a big man. So the smack I got that day, I was like, yeah, you know what? Don't be fucking talking shit. You know, I deserve that smack.
I've
never done it since.
A lot of people, 13, it's a good age.
Good age for a teaching moment.
I don't think a lot of people go through that though.
No, they definitely don't.
We talk about Iran, lads there that are wearing the goose jackets, trying to be something they're not, going around like, you know what I mean? Like, and it's just like, you know, there's no need for you to say anything.
People, like, back when I was young, like, it wasn't like the age of the internet. People would say anything to anyone.
Actually, here's one for you. What was your first phone?
Oh, I had a flip-up Sony Ericsson.
Sony Ericsson. Then no one even has a clue what that is now. That could probably only record for like 30 seconds,
Couldn't even record.
No. Take a dodgy picture.
I remember it was like a fucking orange screen, right? And it was a flip-up. Maybe fucking you might know it. It was like a flip-up. It was like the first ever MP3 player or something on the phone. I was only 12. And my ma...
Headphones and all in the car.
Well, yeah, the fucking earphones, little plastic yokes. I mean, we used to go around with a Walkman.
Oh, with the fucking CD.
Fucking CD in it.
Thing would be fucking wedged in your pocket.
Nobody even knew what a fucking Walkman was. Yeah. Way before iPods, way before all that bullshit. But yeah, that was my first phone. It was a flip-up fucking Sony Ericsson.
And we didn't have OnlyFans on the time to get a picture from a board. We had to fucking walk with the graft in.
I don't look at it.
Top your phone up by €5. I've never sent a picture now, by the way. Just
I don't mind sending a picture if you want to pay me. But I'm not, yeah. Right,
so are you trying to say Cork Green is going to make an OnlyFans?
I'll never buy an OnlyFans.
No.
I'll never pay someone for pussy. Like, I just wouldn't do it.
No.
I just would, like, you know, I just don't get it.
You put the work in.
I don't get it. I have a beautiful woman at home and stuff, and I don't really want to. I don't seek it, but I wouldn't pay someone for that, no. No,
but from our conversation we've had here today, do you think, like, the whole generation has changed? Like, as in we're talking about, right, okay, respect on the gym floor, right, people who have an ego complex, right, then you have, like, the likes of, like, you know, lack of experience of trying to be something, you know, use on PEDs with everything.
I think it's a lack of, if you ask me, just polish this off what you're saying, right? I think if you ask me, it's a lack of leadership in those people's lives because people are being raised by the internet, right? And there's so much outside influence now that the family influence is getting smaller.
Okay.
Right, the father's word means less, the mother's word means less. There's kids on the phone all day, they're in school all day.
No actual interaction.
There's the death of culture, the death of society is imminent. It just is. They're trying to wipe it all out and pretend it doesn't exist. But if you ask me, I'll always be like my father. They'll say my dad died when I was 18, more than 10 years ago, 11, 12 years ago.
And you still hold that.
They'll say once you're here, you'll never be dead. He had that much of an impact on my life. Right now, I'm not saying I didn't, like I talked about earlier, I slipped down some slippery slopes.
Ah, yeah,
right?
but
Like
man,
we all do.
Yeah, of course.
Not man perfect.
No.
But I promise you, the core values of being a good person
comes from mistakes, though.
Comes from my father, bro. Like the reason why I'm respectful to everyone, I'm nice to everyone, I don't try and be a hard man, none of that, is because my dad would slap the fucking shit out of me if I did that. There is no, like, my dad said something, you did it. If you didn't do it, you'd head slapped off you. That was that. Now, it wasn't a fucking tyrannical leader, like, he was a great father.
Yeah.
But he was...
Yeah,
he was a man, a disciplined man. That's why I am who I am. I owe it all to him.
But that's good though. That's good words.
I do.
I think that the word man has changed now to be one. If that makes sense. Like,
well, they're attacking masculinity.
Well, you're not allowed to talk about your feelings, right? You're not allowed to feel a certain way.
Well, who says you're not allowed to talk about it? I just have to ask you, who says?
No, let's just say society is telling us we can't really. We have to get up and do this. We can't read it. Like the TRT, for example, right? So, for example, right, if you feel your body's low, right? This is just an example, right? You feel your body's low. You don't feel like it's functioning enough. You go to the doctor. You get your blood tested, right? It comes back. Test levels are grand, but they're not in the optimal range, right? You're not allowed to get TRT in Ireland, right? But say a woman can go and
we are now.
No, but a woman can go and get her HRT quicker
than you can get TRT now easily,
but quicker than a man. No,
not anymore.
No.
You can just walk straight up and get it.
Can you?
Yeah. Once you're not in your, like, so your optimal range would be about, like, back in the 50s, men.
Now I'm talking legally, prescribed from a doctor.
No, legally from a doctor.
Right.
Like, prescription, walk into a hospital, walk into a pharmacy, they'll give you testosterone and anti-cypionate, whatever you want, with the pins and needles. That's legit. You can get that today pretty easily. But the natural range is anywhere from 0 to 1,000 nanograms per deciliter, right? They'll give you enough to get you on the high end of natural. So if you come in with a score of less than 200, 250, which is already pretty low, 250 nanograms per deciliter, pretty low. I wouldn't say it needs TRT. Test boosters and a good lifestyle could bring that up. But if you're anything lower than 200, you'd want TRT. My mates were 70, by the way, 70 nanograms per deciliter.
I got my bloods done and they done a level of testing of 27 out of 32.
But that must be, the ranges must be different.
Having a clue.
What's the measurement you see?
Don't know.
Is it milligrams maybe?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
I only know nanograms per deciliter.
I have a little bit of knowledge in that.
I'm not a mathematical man. I'll never pretend to be an expert in the field where I'm not. And I'm telling you, when it comes to that breaking down the math stuff, I don't get into it too much.
No.
I just know one measurement, like nanograms per deciliter. If I'm using growth factors or growth hormone, it's international units. If I'm using testosterone and steroids, it's milligrams. You know,
It came back when I wanted to do it because I said to the doctor, who was now retired.
What did they say to you? Was it optimal or?
I'm on the elite range.
So then what the fuck are you giving out about, sir?
I'm not. I'm just saying that so that one of the lads I know that wanted to do it, they wouldn't allow him. That's about 4 years ago though.
They wouldn't allow him because it was too high or too low?
His range was optimal, but it wasn't optimal. In a general health point of view, not in the way he wanted it.
Then he should just inject it himself, bro.
But that's what I'm saying, though. Going back to the topic of what we were
just
saying.
remember, like when you, like I always say this is why I'm so against the hormone blockers for kids and stuff. You don't play hormones. You do not play hormones. As someone who's experimented with hormones, still do to this day, right? It took me a long time to kind of understand what these compounds were doing to me mentally. Mentally, like, because when your test is really low mentally, you're not the same person. You know, your drive is down, your sex drive's down, you're more huffy, you're putting on body fat. That's all obviously too much estradiol in your blood, estrogen, and progesterone as well, which is even worse. So people don't understand that when they take these hormones, take these drugs, you got to make sure that you're pulsing it the same way your balls would, like clockwork. You got to be injecting it. So if you're using a propionate ester, half-life of 2 days, you got to make sure you're injecting it exactly every day and a half, every 2 days. An anti-ester, make sure you're injecting it every 3.5 days. You get me? Don't just take if you're doing 300 milligrams a week, don't inject all that 300 milligrams in one shot. because it's all going to aromatize at the same time, right? Because you have enzymes in your body that turn it into estradiol. So then you're going to get spikes in estradiol and drops in testosterone. You'll have these mood swings. So it's always a good idea to dose out, pulse your maximum, let's say your maximum dose is 300 milligrams per week. It's always a good idea to break that down into like 3 injections to make sure your blood levels of estradiol and testosterone are perfect. And for me, that took a long time to get. And now you don't even notice your cycle. You just build muscle, you feel good. No negative side effects. I'd have to say negative side effects on my cycles lately, they're only light anyway. Like I never take mad amounts, but zero. No negative side effects. None.
So far.
Well, I've taken everything there is to take.
Yeah.
Like, you get a little bit gay when you're on train. You do. I mean, you might look at someone and go, he's a cute little fella. Like, it's just the nature of the drug, like, you know?
Why though?
I've no idea, bro. And nobody knows why. But, like, it just does do that. You know? Turns you fucking gay. A little bit. That's a true story. I remember saying to my girl one time, I was like, can we get a little boyfriend? Right? And she thought about it for a day. She came back, she was like, no fucking way. But like, thinking back on it, I'm like, I was like, what the fuck was I doing? Like, why would I even ask that? You know, but that's trend for you, bro. Trend is...
I know another lad that was taking it before, and he was like, you said it brings out your natural person in a sense of it, more of a loving, caring way, maybe, too. Yeah. This fella was like, you know, his mate would leave, and he'd be like, she's cheating on me.
Paranoia.
He's fucking gone. You know what I mean?
I had that once.
Yeah.
I had it one time. Some dude bought my mom a coffee, just paid for it. He's actually a friend of mine. Big cunt as well.
Don't you be going there, my ma.
Well, he's big guy. He's like 6'4". Big guy.
Right.
Muscly guy as well. And he paid for my mom's coffee or something because he was in front of the kid. But we know each other. But when I was on parabolan at the time. Now, parabolan is the purest form of tren. Right, never taking that again. Now, I never got the trend side effects on Trem. I got trend side effects on parabolan. And I rang him up, I was like, I want to have a chat with you, you know. Came in, he's like, what's up? I said, what are you doing, baby? Wants coffee, you know? He's like, what the fuck are you talking about? And I was like, I'll be fucking doing that, you know. And he's like, you're fucking going mad. It's only till after I was like, yeah, you know what? Maybe I was actually going fucking mad. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck I was thinking. You just bought a fucking coffee. But in your head, I remember doing laps of the estate, like having this mental warfare of myself, thinking like, am I right here? Should I really call him up on this? And I decided that I was going to. And then looking back, I'm like, yeah, that was all the trend. So every last bit of it, like
you're saying, right? There's positives, right? Also a couple of negatives that happened but you're the lucky one to catch it.
Be ready for the
That's what I'm saying.
Be ready.
If you were to say to the viewers now about the pros and cons of steroids, what would you say that the cons would be initially when you start off? There's always downsides to everything.
Downsides going to be.
But what would you catch to in order to get the best experience if you are going to go down that road?
Okay, you better be very introspective. You better be able to look at your behavior, look at yourself from a non-biased perspective and say, is this normal? Because shit, you're going to think shit and do shit and behave certain ways. You're going to behave in certain ways you've never done before. You're going to be questioning yourself and you better be ready for that. You know, now I'm talking like the harsh ones, like Tren, for example. It's the most neurodegenerative. It's the most like psychoactive. It's just 5 times stronger than testosterone. So you better be ready for that roller coaster. Some people handle it better than others. I handle it pretty fine. But then look at my mate, who's an ex-client who showed up at a smart store with a chainsaw. He probably sat there for an hour thinking,
got any trees to go down, yeah?
I'll show up with the chainsaw. So
hell.
A message to anyone, just definitely be ready for some mental Jenga, because you might pull the wrong string one day and the whole thing come trampling down. And that could be suicide, that could be aggressive behavior, that could be anything.
Yeah.
So just be mentally in a very good place. You know, don't be fresh out of a breakup. Don't be fresh into a relationship. Don't be fresh into
we do that as lads anyway, don't we? We hit the gym harder and look for an excuse when we break up.
You have to make sure you're mentally in a good spot before you start fucking with your neurochemistry.
I would say definitely hit your points naturally to the full point possible. Till you feel
before you take gear.
Yeah.
Well, the message is don't take gear.
Yeah, 100%.
That's the message. Like, but if you're not going to listen to that and you're going to, don't touch the exotics. And if you're going to touch the exotics,
make sure you're
mentally okay for it. Because some people aren't mentally out for it. Like.
No, because it's like jumping over a cliff.
Yeah. Don't take gear though. Gear's not good.
You know what I mean?
You don't need gear.
100%.
But if your goals are for beyond gear, like me, I didn't need gear. I was in great nick. You know, I was an 86 kilo shredded, good nick. Didn't need it. right? And I've never, and I can actually wholeheartedly say this truthfully, I've never overdone gear. I never took crazy amounts of doses, like, which is why I never really fucked myself up. Like I was on a trend cycle for 8 months, and I got my mom pregnant fucking 4 weeks later.
Yeah, and apparently it stops you from getting kids.
Well,
having kids,
so after 7 years it will.
Yeah.
But only because I jumped on so late that my endocrine system naturally was okay. And when I came off, I took enclomiphene. That was all, nothing else. And I was fertile again in a fucking matter of weeks. Like,
well, I think that the message should be is that it's your own choice, the same way you made the choice to do it.
Absolutely.
Don't take it, but you don't have to fucking take creatine. You don't have to take this and that. But if you are to go a certain road, you're only gonna, if you look at a block, you'll only get a result from certain things for what you want to achieve, I suppose. But remember, what did they say? The dark side? Once you go down there, there's no going back.
There isn't any going back.
No, because
you're going to get addicted to the game.
100%.
And everyone likes to play, whether you admit it or not, everyone likes to play scientist.
Yeah.
Right? So when you're playing with these compounds, there's some compounds that are no-nos for me that I don't touch. You know, I don't touch nandrolone decanate, so Deca, nicknamed Deca, right? Because Deca
helps with your joints.
Well, it does help with your joints, but it also has the longest half-life in the body. So there's detections of Deca for up to 1.5 years in your bloodstream.
Prolonged in the system.
So how is your natural test meant to come back if it's still in your system? So that's why trend may be 5 months and it'll all be gone. But Deca, you're talking 1.5 years. So that's why I never touch nandrolone. I used to never touch orals at all because orals are
liver. Destroy it.
Bad for the liver.
Kill it, toxic.
And your liver is your body's detoxer. You don't want to fuck that up.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not a drinker anyway. So I'm very lucky.
I'm saying every now and again, maybe.
Every now and then.
3 times a year.
Yeah.
And you know blowout.
Yeah. And it's a blowout.
And I'd be like, I will never go near that again.
I remember one time I had this only a few months ago, man. It's so funny. I had a full fucking liter of whiskey. And like I was chasing the whiskey with red wine. Oh, I was fucked, man. I remember standing there. I had the wrong girl in my shoulder. Sweetheart, my mom was there. And I was like, that's the wrong girl. I was just doing mad shit. I got home. I was trying to smoke fucking 20 € notes of cigarettes. I still have the smoke notes at home. I'll show you. My head, I remember standing there trying to light this thing for 20 minutes. And I woke up the next day, I walked down, there's wine everywhere.
Is that burnt?
There's a pile of coke on the fucking fireplace I never even touched. And there was burnt notes everywhere. And I was like, I'm never doing this again. I'm never doing this again. But that's only once every fucking few years.
Yeah.
But that's why a blowout's a blowout. But alcohol is by far the worst of them all. Like,
alcohol is probably the number one cause to be in A&E.
You know that? Yeah, and you know what as well?
And to introduce drugs into your body.
Oh man, I hope.
Because I know you're not going to go on it without having a few drink.
Yeah. Now,
Let's be real.
Unless you're an addict like me, like I said earlier, sometimes I'll just get a notion in my head going, I'll take some fucking coke right now.
Yeah.
You know, well, it's bad. You shouldn't.
Yeah.
But sometimes I just will, right? Because that's the addict that's inside you. But anyway, you have to learn to deal with that. It's a personal journey. But I hope I'm right, I'm saying this. I fucking hope the statistics right, man. I think it's 90% of all murders had alcohol involved. Or 70%. Some high percentage of all murders or violent acts have always had alcohol at the cause.
Well, I know the number one fact of the entrance into A&E that started for that person, like there's always alcohol in the system.
Always alcohol.
Do you know what I mean? It's in the top. It's in the top 100. It's the top one.
Not to be philosophical, but that's
I think steroids is probably down at 70.
So steroids
or more.
Rare. Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Rare.
Like that'd be like, or even more.
Yeah, alcohol.
Do you know what I mean?
One.
Do you know?
It's
or even if you're going to go to the likes of America, I don't even think firearms are in that.
No. Alcohol's by far the root of evil. They say that's what he call it, a spirit, because it kills your spirit.
And if you go down the lines of alcohol, what would you say to the likes of the youth of today?
I'd say
so. If you were to give a message, right?
I don't think the compound's the problem. I don't think the drug is the problem or the liquor. Right? That's very American liquor, right?
No. Right. So listen, right?
Go on, shoot.
If you were talking to a younger version of yourself, right? All right, which is gonna be majority listening, watching right here.
Yeah.
The message. What would you give in order to be a better person, right?
Yeah.
And take the most out of life while making mistakes.
Listen to your dad.
Right. Okay.
Number one, listen to your dad. He knows better.
Okay.
If you don't have a dad worth respecting, find a man that's worth respecting and follow them.
Like an older brother.
Listen to them. They know better. An older brother, an uncle, a father. get yourself somebody who can check you on your bullshit. Because if you just think that you're a big man, you go through life alone, you're young in your 20s, you're going to make so many mistakes, kid, you're going to regret it.
Everyone wants to hear what they want to hear. They don't want to
any good man has had some sort of role model to look up to. They might not have been around long, like mine wasn't. But even to this day, my dad still has influence on my life. He's not saying that he stops me doing bad shit or illegal shit, but I know the difference between right and wrong. So don't think you're doing something wrong and just not paying any attention to it, you know?
Yeah.
So if I was talking to myself, listen to your dad, and they know better.
Yeah.
That's what I'd say. I can't tell anyone how to live your life. Don't do this, don't do that, because someone who's wiser than you will know that. Now, there's kids out there who don't listen to their parents, and they only end up fucking getting themselves in trouble, going to jail, and doing stupid shit.
Yeah, in the loop.
I remember me and my mate racking the cunt. We put fireworks in one of my neighbour's bins. I was 13. And
that's not normal.
Dad kicked the shit out of me, man. Slapped the shit out of me. My mate was in the next room, was listening to me cry. My dad was killing me. Look, it was the last firework I ever put in any man's bin. It was the last thing I ever done. I never put, and even if I was out with the lads and they were messing,
you wouldn't acting
the cunt. Let's say they were kicking wing mirrors off cars, being cunts, right?
Yeah, but we all done that. Or hung around with people that did.
I wouldn't take part.
No, I mean,
I'd be there.
We hung around with people that did.
But in my head, psychologically, like, I just knew. I was like, dude, I'm not doing that because my dad beat the shit out of me. I'm just not doing that. I'm going to behave myself.
I remember,
you know what
17, hopping into a car, one of the lads had it and it was robbed, and I didn't know it was robbed till it got top of the road, and I was like, yeah, let me out.
Yeah, gone.
Not getting this, not a hope.
Yeah, because you probably had a good mother, good father.
I do. It doesn't mean I didn't fucking break any rules in the house, though.
That's part of the human nature. We're all going to break rules, push boundaries, right?
Rules are made to be broken to a certain point.
Yeah, but you know the difference between right and wrong. You know? That's what I was saying. Follow your dad. Listen to someone that knows more than you, because they know more for a reason. Because they've probably made more mistakes. You know, I'm not saying my dad was definitely no angel.
Yeah.
By any means, definitely was an angel. But he's no fool. And he made the mistakes, which is why he was so strict on me with certain things. Because he was like, I know where this goes.
Right.
So he was making sure that I didn't fucking get down that road.
And I think Kurt came a long way now. He's actually doing really well.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
You know? But he has a kid on the way now, so 6 weeks' time, daddy cool.
Honestly, I couldn't be happier with where I am right now.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not saying you're not going to be on top forever. There's going to be ups and downs. I'm expecting some difficult downs in my life soon. But
that'll be all right. I'm looking forward to seeing the kid in the gym.
You know what? I'm ready for him, bro.
Yeah.
I'm ready for this. Nothing. I've been through so much shit in my life.
Nothing can break you now.
I've been broken 1,000 times, bro. Been on my knees.
Know that feeling.
Oh, yeah.
At death's door, nearly crying, fucking down.
We all have a story like that. And there's no good man that doesn't.
Yeah.
And if you don't have one like that,
you're not a man.
Well, it's not that you're not a man, but you're not a man of worth. Like, does that make sense?
Yeah.
You're only a man of value when you know what it's like to hit rock bottom, when you feel pain, when you've been there. Then you're a man of value because you can bring.
You know what you want to bring to the table now.
You know how to help others as well.
You're not lost.
You're a wise man. You're wise.
Yeah.
But a man who's never had any bad shit happen to him and is cushioned by his parents, and that's what he say that.
Exactly.
As Jordan Peterson says, like, you know, the death by.
I'm a firm believer that you have no opinion until you've gone through the process.
Yeah, well,
to a certain point.
It's a good point. I mean, you can't have an opinion on something you've never been through.
No, but if you read a book, it's different than doing it practically, you know?
I think most good men have had bad shit happen to them, you know? Like, or have come from a difficult background or have been through difficult things. There's no good man that hasn't had his own adversity. Like, you know, most good men have had fucking traumatic shit happen. And that's what makes them good men, in my opinion. That's the journey of a man. Today, men are so cushioned, not all of them, but like it's becoming more and more common for like men not to do sports and men to be very liberal and men not to embrace their masculinity. And like that doesn't make.
But here's one question for you.
Man.
What does rock bottom feel like to you? What did rock bottom feel like? You don't have to explain the story now, but you can say,
bro,
what did you feel? I'll tell you the exact same way as well.
Rock bottom to me
feels
like helplessness.
Right.
There's nothing that you can do. And the only thing you can do is pray to a divine being that you don't even know exists, but you hope does. That's what rock bottom feels like to me. That's where I've been. And you're looking for answers. You're just begging for answers.
Yeah.
And then
stuck.
But then you get them.
Yeah.
You get them. Like shit plays out for you, you know? Yeah. It's a mental part.
It's holding on.
Yeah, and whatever reason brought you there is not really relevant. But if you were there, you know. Well, you'll know, all right. You'll
100%.
fucking know.
Yeah.
You'll be on your knees just crying. Maybe you're crying, maybe you're not, you know, but you'll just be like, you'll just feel completely hopeless and helpless.
Yeah.
Stuff that's happening outside the realm of your control.
You can't control it. It's just coming at you.
Snap something in you. And the lowest point in my life actually led me to the highest point in my life. You know, a little fire under me to...
Of course.
Yeah, like I was early 20s, you know, fucking my brother moved to Australia, my mom moved out, I was in the house on my own, my fucking girl left me. You know, there's all this pain, and then there's obviously some other outside
like
shit.
fucking one after another.
Yeah, there was some other outside shit happening that maybe I won't discuss, but like it was pretty,
cool.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah,
and then
yeah.
like that to me was a turning point in my life. Like, you know, I remember just hitting the deck, me and my dog, I had a dog at least, you know. Electricity went in the house, I was getting 80 quid a week off the fucking dole. The only time I was on social welfare, I was like 20. No one around you. And, you know, no, you left my job when my dad died and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, I remember hitting the floor, knees on the floor, looking up, electricity turned off in the fucking house.
So some of a movie.
Literally.
Yeah.
Electricity off in the house. I dropped to my knees in the kitchen. I looked up and I was there at rock bottom. But I still had a fucking roof over my head. Right? So what was I really moaning about? When I look back at it now,
it wasn't that bad, but your body, sorry.
What I went through
Don't
was
mean that way.
traumatic.
Yeah.
And I won't speak about it.
You can't, yeah.
Because I can't really, just legally as well. There's some stuff, but it was pretty fucking bad. And not a lot of people would experience what I have.
You couldn't justify it back then you can now.
But when I look at it, like, subjectively, I'm like, you know, there's people that have had it a lot worse than me. And if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be the man I am today. And I have a son coming. I'm not like happy that I went through that kind of shit, but I am
going
in
to
a
try
sense.
stop that happening to your son.
Well, it's not, you can never stop what happened to me. It's just something that just happened, right? But one thing I can, like, I'll be well prepared in the realm of pain, love, suffering, reward. Like, I'm a well experienced man to bring a child into the world.
Yeah.
You know, which is what I think.
You're not a kid raising a kid.
Exactly. And that's why we said what makes the man is going through all that traumatic shit. Whatever it is for you. Sometimes there's no scale of, this was worse and this was better. No scale of comparison.
No.
Because the worst thing that's ever happened to you is the worst thing that's ever happened to you regardless. So even if you're a posh boy, billionaire, and you lost your charger, and that's the worst thing that's ever happened to you, you feel the same amount. Did you get me though?
Yeah.
The same despair, maybe not the charger, but
it's a chemical reaction in the brain.
Let's say a family member dies, and that person think it's like the worst thing that's ever happened to them. When, to be honest with you, a family member dying, like even my dad dying, it's not even on the top 3 worst things that ever happened to me. So subjectively or retrospectively, I hope that makes sense English-wise, but just because one person, a bad thing happened to them, doesn't make it any worse or less worse than what happened to somebody else, because you feel it the same.
Yeah.
Regardless. You know, you feel pain the way you feel pain. Doesn't matter if his pain was worse or his pain was worse. Pain is pain.
And you never kind of project it on someone else because you're going through shit either.
Well, you're never going to say, oh, my pain is worse than yours.
No, but there's some people like that.
It's not how the world works,
you know
unfortunately,
what I mean? You know, but that's, unfortunately, some people do that, you know, the kind of way. But I like to say that Kurt comes off as a positive guy, even though been through all that, and still remains reflects it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It reflects on the personality of a person, because you can go through that and you're not putting the finger saying, I am because I'm not where I want to be because of this or this and this, but I just make it.
You make it work for you, man.
Of course.
You know, like I am who I am because of what happened to me.
Yeah.
And I'm happy for it.
And cool, yeah, nice.
I mean, it's not like if I could wish it all again, be like, oh, yeah, please, if I could design my life, I would be like, oh, please make this horrific shit happen to me. Right? No. But because I've been through it, going through life, there's not many other things that can happen to me where I'm, you know, I know how to deal with some pretty fucking dramatic shit.
Well, I'm not going to turn around and say, like, I'm fucking...
I know how to be the anchor for a family. Like,
which is the main thing.
Yeah, I know how to protect my family and do what needs to be done to ensure their safety. Like, I know how to act like that. I know how to be a man when my father passed away. You know what it was a saying? I don't know who said it, but it was like, you know, be the person you needed when the person you needed went away, pretty much. So, like, I needed my dad when he died and when I went through all that other shit. But I became him through that process. And my dad, too, had a very traumatic life. He had some pretty fucking awful shit happen to him. He's homeless by 13 or 14. He was out on the street. And it's just like his man now, my nanny, hard to go, but his dad was a fucking alcoholic as wanker. But he is who he is because of that. And he needed him at that time. The same way I need it. You're right, it's full circle.
Yeah.
It's full circle. And one day I won't be here, my son will be here. And I think if I die, then my son will have to become me to survive.
Not if you die, man. You are going to die.
Exactly.
At some point in your life, you know what I mean?
Let's hope it's down the road somewhere, right?
No, it will be, but touch wood, you know what I mean?
Wood,
but what I'm saying is, though, like, you know, I think
Yeah.
you can't delay the inevitable. And I think, you know, like, I'm a firm, like, you know, believer as well. If it's good karma, what you do is what come back to you.
That's true.
And as well, if you look at your family, they're not always going to be. I sit and look at my ma, then and my dad, and I come in from work, and I say hello, and I do all that. Then, I'm blessed to have that. Having this conversation with you.
Yeah, of course.
But I know that I'm gonna one day deal with that. Like my dad's parents died the same. Like before he was 21.
Yeah.
He was offered heroin at his dad's funeral.
Lovely.
Yeah. And one of his mates stopped your man and told him to fuck off. Yeah. He never went on it. Obviously, then my dad was strong enough to say no.
Could have been a turning point.
When someone fucking goes into that 1 year circle to get you down at that point,
could have been a fucking
you
turning
get me,
point
like
for him, bro.
so, like, and I'm not gonna turn around and say, like I said, no one's story is better or worse here.
Exactly.
You get me?
And
like,
that's when you looked at things. It's not.
No.
Because the worst thing that's happened to you is the worst thing that's happened to you regardless. So even if it's something like someone dying or some fucking, you know, disgraceful shit that will happen to me, doesn't matter. Pain's pain.
Exactly. And I think I talked about that on the last episode of the podcast about my story.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think we've been through quite similar stuff.
Pain is
maybe a little bit worse than your end, man, but I tell you what.
Well, put it this way, there's no worse, but...
No, I mean, like,
there's no
more
denying.
amplified, like, you know. Well, do you know what? I think we've all gone through the same experience, but it took a different road to get to where we need to be.
Look, you're on the right road where you need to be. Nobody asks for shit or bad shit to happen to them. But look, it makes the man. It makes the man. The pain, there's some things in life where it's so bad, you don't even have an emotion for it. You just freeze, you're emotionless. You know, you can't even cry.
I find that you do enough of it when you're
younger. You don't even know how to process what's just happened. You're so traumatized. It's only for years down the line that you're able to look back and go, fuck, that was fucking insane. Like, you know, talking to therapists. The therapists are even looking at you going like, fuck.
How do I deal with this?
Well, you can tell it's just such a shock for them. Like, you know, they can't really know how to process it because it's something that's not, you know, it's not even a crime against a person. It's a desecration against the spiritual, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. It's something deeper than that. So there's no emotion for it, you know? So there's some things that happen that are really bad and there's some things that are just unspeakable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that unspeakable shit, if you ask me, I don't know, just give me a very good, let's say, calibrator. I know what's good and I know what's bad. You know, I've been calibrated correctly. So people let's say, I don't know, let's say you go to jail, right? Most people go, that's bad. That ain't bad. That ain't bad. You get TV, you get a bit of gym. What are you afraid of? Afraid of going
Free
to jail?
rent?
You afraid of going to jail, son? Well, God bless your little poor heart. That's not even that bad. There's some bad shit. And if your calibration is right, depending on what you're going to jail for now, if you did some horrific shit, maybe you should...
It's got to come back to haunt you in there.
Yeah, but if you did what you thought was right, you know, at the time, regardless of what happened, and you have to do something, maybe to say, even though it's against the law, but you have to act outside the realm of the law in order to get the right result at the end. So if you did what you thought was right, which is what I had to do, I did what I thought was right. I had to protect my family. I had to protect somebody. So I had to do some shit that I might have to do sometime. But to me, it's not a bad thing because I'll be sitting in there knowing by the hand of God that I'm good, that I did what I thought was best, even though it might not have been the right thing at the time. But at the time, I did what I thought was best. So what was I going to do? Argue with myself?
Well, man, to be honest with you, to go with the law, stuff like that, you got going on the Olympics, your man was convicted, what's it?
He's a pedo, man. He fucked a 12-year-old. Like.
All right, and then a fella that's not allowed to do the Olympics because he hit a horse. Don't say it. It's not, like, animal cruelty is bad, right? Okay, but I do think that, like, you know, maybe that one might be a little bit more vicious. To get me?
The law is not
the law,
right and wrong. Yeah, you're right.
In the eyes of the law is just what it's put down as.
You're right. The right and wrong is not the law.
No.
Right, because, you know, there's some stuff that's
made
illegal.
Man.
Look, like, does God really give a fuck if you park on double yellow lines? No. Realistically, right, money game. So what you write in the law book doesn't necessarily mean that that's what's right and wrong. Because everyone knows. Yeah, but everyone knows that you should have a conscience, right? You should have a soul, divine conscience that comes from somewhere, and you know what's right and wrong. And it's not what this book says. Oh, I better check the book, see if I can do that. It's like, even if the book said you could, fuck it, I don't know, let's say age of consent is fucking 12, right? You know it's wrong. Even if the book says it's okay, it's not okay. It's not right, like. So the book should
You're
never...
reading the wrong book then.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, though. So, like, you get... Just because the law says something, don't make it right, but it also don't make it wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But it also depends on the circumstances.
They have an inner moral compass. Like,
Well,
you know?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
people are like... I seen an interview the other day, and some dude was like... Some woman said pregnant people. And your man's like, what do you mean pregnant people? And she's like, oh, well, people can become pregnant. He's like, mothers? Oh, well, I use inclusive language to be morally correct. And he's like, so in order for me to be morally correct, I have to believe in this deluded lie that men can have babies? And she was like, yeah, okay. Well, how the fuck is that true? So you want me to be morally correct? Politically incorrect and morally correct are not the fucking same thing. If I started abusing someone who's mentally ill, let's say, and has a gender dysphoria issue, and I start abusing them, that's not right. But expecting me to go through life and believe that these people...
That you don't believe in something and you have to believe because it's a thing going on now.
If you're telling me I have to believe this person's a woman, get fucked. You got 2 balls and a cock. That ain't no fucking woman, bro. Let's be real about it. Don't be so stupid, like. But I'm not... My moral compass will say, don't insult that person.
Of course.
And when I have a kid...
You have to have respect for people.
When I have a kid, because it's prevalent in kids and schools and all now, I'll say, look, these people they're not well. You know, they're not mentally well, but be respectful, right? Don't slag them. Don't be bullying them. Don't be nothing. Just ignore them, right? If your teacher says something to you in school about it, just ignore them too. Don't get involved in it. There's men, there's women, that's it. My kid will be raised like the 90s. I ain't raising my kid with this fucking gender horseshit. Not doing it.
When you're going into the education system, and that's going to be.
And if there's a class, on about it, my son will be taken out and put into jiu-jitsu for that hour.
Yeah.
If there's a class on gender studies, well, guess where you're going, son? You're going to get the head boxed off you, right? Because I'm gonna put some character in you. I'm not having you sitting here listening to fucking nonsense from fucking losers. I'm not being funny, right? But if teachers could make a half decent living, they wouldn't be fucking teachers. And I'm not saying nothing bad about teachers. Right, they're the cornerstone of society in a lot of ways. But I know a lot of teachers, and I know them from school, and they're not the brightest ones. They're not the ones who are entrepreneurial, right? They're good people.
Well, it's a book, man. They're given a book to teach, and that's it.
They're middle of the road intelligent people. That's the God honest truth. Because if they weren't, they'd be doing something else. Let's be real.
My business studies teacher was failing me every fucking year until I went to this parent-teacher meeting.
Yeah. And
the fella was copying me, man, in class. He was getting B's, right? Yeah. And I had it out with him in the parent-teacher meeting. After that, I was getting B's.
Well, he was copying you?
Yeah. No, the other guy was copying me, getting B's, and he was failing me. And I was like, this is, yeah.
So you were the bigger fool for studying.
Oh, stop.
So he was the smart one.
And you know what? I goes, at the end of the day, right, I was taking business advice from a teacher who has never ran a business. Yeah. And I'm like, and you know what? I'm 31 now, running a business, and it's not doing too bad.
They pissed me off with school because my parents were getting a divorce when I was still in school, back when I was still alive. And I didn't go to school for a lot of 5th year, but I didn't go to school at all in 6th year. But I just had a talent for biology, naturally good at it, right? And I went in, and 50% of the marks of the exam were to do with projects. But I wasn't in fucking school, so I didn't have the project book, right? I scored 86% in the written exam. So it wasn't an A+, but it was an A, right? But because 50% of the exam got to do with the experiments, I only ended up scoring 36%. I actually technically failed it. Even though on paper, I fucking nearly aced it, which absolutely pissed me off. Like, I just naturally had this autistic obsession with biology. I'd read 10 books on nutrition, endocrinology, physiology, anatomy. I just love it, right? That's why I became a fucking PT and what I do. But they failed me on it. And the neck of it, like, the neck to fail me on it just because I wasn't in school. So the school system is fucking broken. It is. Hasn't changed for 100 years.
I always
it's broken
wanted to learn a language. When I done the entrance exam,
I'm afraid like Welga Lord now.
Needless to go.
No.
I was good at Irish, right? I was good at Irish before I went into secondary school.
Búcail Éireannach Tomás agus ní féidir like Welga Lord. And you should learn. Would you go to an Irish secondary school or?
I didn't go to one, right?
That's what
I was very good at it, right? Yeah. Until I went into secondary school. I went in to ask, I wanted to learn French, German, and I wanted to do arts, right?
German's a fucking fucked one, yeah.
But when they said it to me, they told me, no, you can't do that. Do business and metalwork. So...
Well, they're probably trying to guide you the right way.
No, arts is creative.
Yeah.
And what's that? And you need a language to get into it.
I know this. I know this. Arts
now?
is for fucking drug addicts, man. Let's be real. I know you're funny, but if you're like fucking art, I'm only messing. Obviously, it's not. But arts is very.
Let's have Vincent Van Gogh.
Yeah, but how the fuck are you gonna make money with arts? You fucking still. What do you mean?
Art.
Yeah.
Tattoo artists.
Get the fuck. Yeah, you like tattoo artists?
Oh, I can't draw. Yeah, fucking, I can't draw.
She can't fucking draw. So what's the point of you doing art then?
My brother's working in Wildcat Town. He's making 700 a day.
Like I had to do all that. So languages. I had to learn German through Irish. We didn't speak any English. So if I was learning science, it was all done through Irish. Mathematics, all done through Irish.
That's how you can speak Irish, because you went to an all-Irish school,
primary and secondary.
Oh, okay,
I didn't even like it. I just had no choice but to speak it.
Yeah, well, you can speak it now.
I can speak it. It's like, how many years out of school am I now, and I can still speak it fluently. I had this friend of mine, actually, his father only passed away, man. Sad, like, they found out he had cancer. 5 days later, he died. After they found out, 5 days after, stage 4, too late, gone. And these were family from Offaly now, but they speak Irish every day, even at home. You'd be in Ronan's house, shout out Ronan. He's a fucking PhD in England now. He's like a professor or some shit in English and philosophy. And I loved Ronan because Ronan was a questioner, you know. You could say something to him that would genuinely be factual, and he's like, bullshit, he's like, bullshit, don't believe that. He just wouldn't, so like, not pessimistic, but he just would never believe something just because someone says it. You know what I mean? Always wanted proof. But anyway, his family spoke Irish. Morning, noon, night, breakfast, dinner table, lunch. You go up to his house and his parents were speaking Irish to you. And they just didn't know English. And it was great because you don't get that anymore. Especially in Wicklow. Like, east of Ireland, that's not a thing. You know?
Well, I'm from Dublin. That's where that language went long ago. Yeah. You know what I mean? Unfortunately. And then I am a firm believer that it's not a piece of paper that makes you successful.
Oh no.
All right.
Oh,
definitely. No. You know what I mean? What did I say?
No.
I never went to Harvard University. People that work for me did. But,
Boom.
Yeah.
Boom.
I think, you know what? I think we'll end the podcast session on that one.
Sounds
what do you
brilliant.
think?
Sounds good.
I think I thank Kurt for coming out today.
Thank you very much.
You know what I mean?
For
Taking his time to come down.
Yeah.
You know, and being openly honest on it.
Yeah.
And
I'll be back.
Yeah,
sure.
100%. You know, and if anyone didn't like it, you know, it's your own opinion. Who cares?
Fuck off,
you know, so just take our time to maybe what's it? Like, subscribe, share the content.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
To support it. Do you know, because it's, you know, Kurt, a good while here now, and it's good to have him on the podcast.
Yeah,
Would you like to say anything before we go?
Listen to your parents. Yeah, stay in school. Listen to your parents.
Yeah.
Love, believe in faith, and that's it.
Yeah, trust the process and just
I wish
keep
I
going.
had prepared some kind of line, but like the best I got is listen to your parents. So
oh, that's all right. That's all right.
Don't think you know better because you fucking don't. If you're a kid, you know, so it is what it is.
We're all still growing up at the end. Yeah,
absolutely.
All right, I think we'll call it there anyway. On to the next one, right? Cheers,
Cordo.
Cordo.
Thank you, brother.
Oh man.